All right, guys, it's time. We have a question from Chillin. Can you explain how vowels differ before voiceless, voiced, and no consonant? So basically, if you have, for example, seat, seed, see, etc. Good examples. Other than the sound length, do the vowels differ in sound quality due to quicker and incomplete articulation? The millisecond difference in length are almost imperceptible. I suppose there are more noticeable hints. Are the vowel shortening rules universal or regional? All right. Some of you guys know my opinion on this. The way that I teach this is going to help you a lot. I don't care what you learned elsewhere. I don't care who said it. Could be somebody with a PhD in linguistics. I do not care. Okay? This is probably going to make some people a little mad at me or a little annoyed, whatever. That's fine. I'm here to speak the truth and make things easier for you guys. So let's get controversial. I want you to completely 100, 1000% ignore vowel length. I don't care if it's the difference between E and I. I don't care if it's the difference between going from E into a T or E into a D. Ignore vowel length. Now, if you're still here watching, because some of you probably already left the video and gave it a thumbs down, which, thanks for the interaction anyway, that's great, helps the channel. I've had several students and even several subscribers who were so focused on this vowel length thing, and they were so focused on the length that it was actually it was lowering their listening skills. Okay, and it was also lowering their speaking skills. Now, once I told them to stop focusing on vowel length, just ignore that, guess what? Their listening shot up, their speaking became more fluent, it became easier to do. There are technical linguistic distinctions like long vowels and short vowels, and some or all of that is or may be objectively true from a general linguistic sense. And that's fine. I don't deny that. I don't care. The point is that in English, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Okay, and maybe I'm wrong about that. I really don't think so. So when I say seat, or when I say seed, or when I say see, guess what? That E is the same length every time. Now, there's a little detail here for those of you who still haven't left. The length of the vowel is whatever it is. It's primarily affected by stress, because it's a stress time language, and the speed of speech. That's what will determine vowel length, generally speaking. But if we just do E, okay, it's just an E, C, C, C. It lasts however it lasts, and you move on to the next word. If we go into a D, you get to hold that voice through to the closing of that D sound, right? Or if it's a G, you say G or whatever it is, it's voiced. So one way to look at this is that the vowel is longer because you get to hold that voice all the way up into the D, or if you go into a T, you have to stop that voice right before you get into the T, and so it sort of shortens the amount of time we spend on that vowel. That's one way to look at it. And if you look at it that way, okay, I guess we could say the vowel is technically a little bit shorter. Now, I've heard some people say like, oh, the vowel is like 60% as long or something like that. And I don't buy that. I don't care what kind of measurements people have done and this and that and whatever. Like it's impractical. It's just, if you try to match that in your speech, you're just going to completely break the rhythm of the language. Don't pay attention to that. It's nonsense. It's going to take care of itself if you put things together correctly. So if I go from E into T, seat, seat, because if I have that voice as I'm going into the T, it's going to start sounding like a D. Okay. So as I said, one way to look at that is that the vowel is shorter. If you want to look at it that way, fine. Okay, whatever. The vowel's a little shorter. Or another way to look at that, I'm taking the same amount of time. I can guarantee you this. I don't know how other natives' mouths work, but in my mouth, this is how this works. I'm taking the same amount of time to go from E all the way up into that close of T as I am going from E up into the close of D, because it's the same position. I don't, go faster into the T. It's taking me the same amount of time to get into the T or to get into the D. It's just that voice turns off when I have to go into the T. That creates how I would look at it, how I would define it, it creates an illusion of vowel length difference when there really isn't any significant difference. And again, even if there is an objective significant difference, trying to pinpoint and produce that difference is just going to make your speech horrible. Okay, it's not going to work, in my opinion. Maybe I'll change my mind someday. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Chillin also said, other than sound length, so that is already out the window. Do the vowels differ in sound quality due to quicker and incomplete articulation? Again, if it's going into a T and we do a glottal T, the stop T is the only one where you don't have to actually go into the T position. You can just cut off the glottis. That can have a little bit of effect. I don't think it significantly affects the quality of the vowel itself. It just cuts it off nice and cleanly. And are vowel shortening rules universal or regional? What vowel shortening rules? That's all I have to say to that. What vowel shortening rules? Just ignore that. Now, that being said, I do need to leave you with one little special detail here. Different languages work differently. Okay? Could be in like the rhythm and the timing of how it works. Could be in the amount of breath, like if you aspirate certain things or don't aspirate certain things in your language. That can perhaps have an effect that if you bring that into English, it's going to throw you off. And so I would focus much more on those things and try to make sure that all the pieces are in place instead of trying to get, the shorter vowel length in one case versus another case. Just ignore all that, but keep in mind that things that come over from your native language could contribute to that illusion, could contribute to that problem. And you're going to want to work those things out so that you can actually produce the language in a way that sounds natural, like using the right rhythm and timing. Hope that helps. If you guys disagree, you want to have a debate, let's throw it down in the comments. Maybe somebody can prove me wrong. We'll find out.